You know how, like, you'll kind of talk yourself out of things? Like, I used to do that.
Yeah.
And now, like, I'll catch myself, like, about to do it. I'm like, no, 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 no. Here we go. This, like, reposition the thought. To not be glass half empty, but half full.
Welcome to the Healed Girl Era podcast.
Y'all, I am interviewing the Kelly Rowland right now. I just want everyone to know, yes, I'm freaking out, but I'm not, because she's the best. And I'm so honored to have you here today. I'm so grateful that we get this moment to connect.
Yes.
But mostly I'm grateful that I finally have a platform and ain't nobody going to edit me.
That's
period.
That's right.
Feel me? Like,
yes.
It has to work. But I'm so honored to have you here today. I have been a fan of yours since I was, when y'all come out, 97, 7 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah. Just 7 days younger than you was 7 when y'all started.
You know, I'm 42. And
clap it up for the 42 because you are stunning.
Thank you. But grateful to still be here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And grateful to be here with you talking today.
Thank you.
For sure.
I want to get into a lot, and I want to get right into it because I feel like you have been such a light in life for all of us. But even as this year, I feel like you're just coming out of your shell so much more. Like, you are doing all these interviews. I've loved seeing you talk with Kerry Washington and Today's Show, everybody.
Yeah.
And now I'm just so excited because I know you have a lot to share. Like, I feel like you're in that space that you're ready to share. Is that true?
Yeah, I think that it's really a blessing to be in the space that I'm in. Like, I'm finally, like, I know myself more. I continue to be comfortable in my skin, you know, flaws and all, to be honest. And I think that what growing up and 42 is even teaching me is that when I learn something, 9 times out of 10, somebody could be going through the same thing. So, you know, as much as celebrity is like a thing, it's just like we are really all bleeding the same red blood and feeling the same things. And it's important to, celebrating is one thing, but I celebrate everybody.
That's right.
You know, I celebrate the journey. And I think it's important to share that. Yeah, for sure.
You do a great job of it.
Thank you.
And speaking of the journey, I want to go back to little Calendria Trinae Rowland.
Oh, my government name.
Come on. We all know it. We've been knowing it for 20 years, Kelly. I don't know what to tell you, baby. But what I love about that one is that you were a little girl in Atlanta growing up. I know that you grew up with a lot of really strong women. But when you think about your upbringing, we going all the way back.
Yes.
What do you reflect on the most of that time and being that little girl?
I'd say music, in particular gospel music, waking up and being around all these women, all these very opinionated, strong Black women, different ages, the fact that they were so much older than me, but they were women experiencing life.
Yeah.
And, you know, my mom was a hard worker. She was a housekeeper and nanny. And watching her journey in that, watching our journey from Atlanta to Houston, what else? Just loving music.
Do you remember the song? Like, you say gospel. There's a lot of gospel. Is there one in particular, one or two that you're like, oh, when you hear it, you are immediately taken back to it?
Oh my God, you made my day.
Ooh,
yes.
Come on, Clark Sisters.
Absolutely.
Yes,
yes, all of it. Like the Clark Sisters in particular.
Yeah.
It was how it was like funk and praise at the same time. Like, that's just so dope to me. And it's extremely rich. And we were so blessed to get that and them at the same time. I think that the audience that they pulled, like for me being a kid at that time and like, you know, dancing to it and like, I don't know, it was just amazing. Yeah. Just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think about it then, and then there are also people who are still they are touring right now.
Absolutely.
Like, that is to me.
And I heard tearing the house down, by the way.
Hello.
I heard tearing
Kirk
the
and them,
house
we want to come to the reunion, so call us.
Yeah.
The reunion tour is going to be so lit.
Yes,
but I love that that's where it started. And you can tell in your vocal range, like, you don't play. You have never played with the vocals.
Oh, thank you.
But who was the first person that said, "Oh, you can actually sing. You should use that"?
My choir instructor.
How old were you?
6, maybe 5 or 6.
Wow.
5, 6, 7, like in that age range. But I remember having this big, ugly white dress on. You know, the ones they give you when you small and you got the little matching frilly socks to go with it.
A little
and
Easter.
Singing my my first solo. And she was like, she told my mom, "Oh, she can do it. She can do it. I know she can do it." And I get up there and I had such a great time singing. And I was like, it was a moment. I remember exactly what the audience looked like. I can see it right now. So it's like, I knew what that feeling felt like, and I knew that's where I wanted to be. I knew that's what I wanted to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you were singing?
Yes, it was "I Want to Walk and Talk with Jesus."
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
This is why I love you, because so many people start in the church, but I feel like the greatest vocalists have started in the church. They was babies in the choir, singing at the front of the church, and that's when they knew this was a call that was bigger than them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the church just does, besides like roots, it's like, you know what it feels like.
Yeah.
The church is like the feeling. It's spiritual in so many ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From it feeling like God just kind of doing like this, to like the music coming in like this, and you know, you being present for that moment and singing it. It's nothing that one can describe. So when I do have those moments and I'm older and that same kind of feeling happens, like it's been moments I've come off the stage and I've just wept because I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful.
Wow.
Like it's to have a dream and to, you know, watch God like figure his thing out and do it only, you know, how he does it. It's like so dope how it pans out. So I just, I'm grateful.
Yes. And thank you for following that call. Thank you for fighting through. We will never know the amount of fights you had to do to stay in this business. This business is not easy.
No. And by the way, one still fights. I'm sure there are fights that you have.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And challenges. I mean, I think that for all of us, like whatever we're doing in our lives that has a passion, I think that God kind of presses us just a little bit to see how much we really like it. And I just got that. And I was like, oh, all right, then I love it. Oh gosh, bring it on. Whatever it is that's about to happen, but bring it on. It's okay, because I'm like, I was made for this.
Ooh.
I was made for this.
The way you said it just blessed my soul. You were made for this. And I tell myself the same thing. I'm like, there's going to be something that literally throws me off today.
Absolutely.
And then I got to go in the mirror and say, all right, the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing.
Yes.
Like whatever happens, I'm going to be good.
Absolutely.
When you have those mirror moments, what do you say to Kelly?
I was made for this. I was made for this. Or I just also realized something. There's, you know how like you'll kind of talk yourself out of things? Like I used to do that. Yeah. And now like I'll catch myself like about to do it. I'm like, no. Here we go. I've this like reposition the thought to not be glass half empty, but half full. So I think we all have really full cups. You know what I mean? And I think that it's important for us to continue to make our own cup full and not expect the world to make our cup full, or things, or, you know, people, you know what I mean? Like it was just a moment that clicked and I was like, oh my gosh. And I had to reposition my thinking.
That's the key.
Yeah.
And I love that you said you just realized that.
Yeah, I'm 42 realizing this. I'm like, God, dog, I've been living with this for how long? How long is it going to take me to undo this mess? You know what I mean? But it's all good, because when you figure it out, the tongue has the power of life and death. And if you're the one that's talking yourself out of your greatness, you can't blame nobody but you. And nobody want to be in that position. I hate that position.
The doors of the church are open, y'all. Tags go to Cash App. Okay, no, but for real, like you're preaching. And it's funny because we saw each other at Sarah Jake's Woman Evolve conference. Shout out to Sarah.
Shout out to Sarah.
Pastor Sarah Jakes for that amazing crew. Shout out to all of Woman Evolve. What was that conference like for you? I mean, we saw Mama Tina, Miss Tina. I gotta stop calling her that. That's not my mama. Miss Tina.
I know, but she feels like that.
Right? Everybody's you all feel like our sisters, and like y'all always felt like a family to us.
Yes, we are.
Exactly.
Yes.
But when she panned around, seeing you, Michelle, the internet went crazy. But what was it like for you being there and just being in that space at that time?
It was alive. That space was so alive. It was alive with women. It was alive with energy. It was alive with spirit. It was alive with word. It was alive. And it's one of the most memorable moments I know I'll have, and impacts I think that's had on my life and my thinking and what I'm saying, intention. I'm just so grateful to Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts for that space, and thankful to Michelle, because she was like, "All right, what you doing this day? We're gonna be at Arlington, baby, right?" I said, "Yes, yes, that's where I'm gonna be." And we got everything, because I knew I was gonna go, but she was just like, "No, we're gonna figure it out right now. What time is your flight? When does the car get there? What time do you have to be back?" Like, she was on me. But I'm so happy that she was, because that's what sisters do.
Hello.
And so when I got there, she was like, "All right, we're doing this at this time." She was so organized. And I'm so happy that she was.
Yeah.
And she just knew I needed it. The women with us, the pour was great.
Yes.
So I pray that after Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts finished, that she was poured into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a blessing.
Yes. And if we can, look, say something to Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. Sis, the more you create these spaces for us, the more you help us heal. And I'm just so grateful that God is using you in the way that he is. So we love you, Sarah.
Absolutely.
And if
this moment
this moment is because Woman Evolve.
Yes.
Just want to let y'all know, I was
moment.
literally, and that's how I know it's all God. Like you were talking about how God is orchestrating things.
Yes.
Like we have seen each other millions of times at this point at red carpets.
Yes.
Like literally one of my favorite people to see. And when I was sitting there, all of a sudden, all this commotion comes because it's Kelly and Michelle. You can't just, you got the people coming through. And they were like, "Oh, clear the way, clear the way." I'm like, "Who's coming? Who's coming? Like, is it the president?" Also, it is the president, okay?
No, it's not
my president.
I do not want that.
Kelly writing it. That's a tough job. It was cute when Barack and Michelle was doing it. Now nobody want to do that. But when we sat down, when y'all sat down, I was like, "Oh, wow, I'm just so grateful that she's here." Because in my mind, I was like, I'm going to ask her if I can really interview her. I don't know if she's going to say yes, but I hope she does. And you were in praise and you were focused. I was like, I'm not even going to ask her. But then I got my moment to talk to you. And I was like, let me ask you. Let me stop talking myself out of things, because I do that so easily. And I think as women, we kind of are trained to be so polite. We are too nice even for our own visions. We're just so nice. We're just like, oh, I'll stay out the way.
Yeah.
When did that change for you? Because I feel like you've walked into this Kelly Rowland, this version of you that is not afraid to say things, is not afraid to go and slay at Paris Fashion Week and had a girls be, the girls blessing us in the way they did. But what does this Kelly feel like right now? What is this version of us that you're seeing? Because we've watched you grow up, which is amazing.
I mean, I'm work in progress. You know what I mean? I'm still growing. I'm still knowing new things and learning new things about myself, and so it's like every day I figure something else out. Yeah. So I'm just literally in this place to where I'm talking myself into things. I'm trying things out. I'm seeing if they fit. And when they don't, I'm like, oh, it's cool. I don't think of it as a failure. I just heard Tyler Perry say, what did he say? He said, somebody asked him something about failure. He's like, I've never had any failures. And it wasn't arrogant. It was so humble in this space that he was speaking of, because he was saying, even in the moments that didn't work or whatever they were, or what some would call a failure, he was like, I got everything I needed from that. I learned everything I needed. So it wasn't a failure. It actually benefited me for the wisdom. I was like, yes, wisdom.
Right.
Because I think that we think about it like that, and we'll just sit it in the failure box, and it's, wrong, and it's because it made us feel like we failed at something. Even the word failed. You know what I mean? What is truly failure? If it didn't work, that's okay. Then what from it are you taking that? I could have done this better. Instead of saying I could have done this better, it's a failure immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just a moment to work out what works and what doesn't work for you. And instead of looking at it like just to immediately move it out of the way, because it's failure.
I know. We got so scared of the word,
Mm-hmm.
and especially if it happens in our lives, we're like, oh no, I failed.
Yeah,
I gotta hide.
yeah.
There's shame attached to it. But I love the way that Tyler said that, because that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You never really fail.
No.
You learn
Or
you win.
Yeah.
And that's always a win.
Yeah, and you keep it moving.
Yes.
You keep it moving. You don't get stuck at that point. Because there was a time, like in particular in my 20s, like I was like, oh God, like everything. I'm just so sensitive, and I'll be like, oh God, well they said, oh God, I'm just so fragile. And I noticed people felt like they couldn't say certain things around me. And also when they feel like they can't say certain things around you because you're so sensitive, you can't grow. So here you are, sensitive, probably doing the same stuff over and over again.
You can say whatever you need.
Probably doing the same stuff
hey,
over
no babies
again.
in here.
But yeah, doing the same stuff over again and not getting what you need from the moment so that you can evolve. And I'm just in this space, no pun intended, where I just want to evolve. Just go from glory to glory to glory to glory. Because whatever it is for me.
Amen.
Whatever it is for me. It's going to work or it's not. But 9 times out of 10, it's just like, I'm going to get something from it.
I'm gonna leave here with something.
I'm gonna leave here with something.
Be saying. Now, I want to go back because I got my good sis Whitney here.
I know.
This album. I want y'all to see. Little young baby Whitney. Little young baby Whitney. I don't know which camera's mine, but y'all all can see. Little young baby Whitney.
That is my first album.
Really?
That is my first
Tell
album.
me. I have no idea.
Yes.
Tell me more about
Whitney, her, Tevin Campbell, and the boys. Sure, a lot of you just have no idea, but the Boys was a very cool boy band, and they sang really great R&B music, and I totally had a crush on one of them. They were so cute. Oh my God. And Whitney is the voice of all time.
That's right.
Period.
And you, when you auditioned for Destiny's Child, sang a Whitney Houston song.
Yes. I'm your baby tonight. Yeah.
Every time. I'm a... Wow. So, did you ever, because I know y'all met her, did you ever get a chance to tell her that you sang that song and it changed your life?
No. I froze.
Did you?
I froze.
What was y'all's relationship
well,
like?
at that time, it was the Nico Hotel. Hotel Nico was what everybody called it. Everybody used to stay there. We stayed there. It was so cool. So we stayed there, and we're coming in, and Bobby Brown is coming out. And at this time, him and Whitney were married, and he's coming out. He's like, oh, snap, my wife loves y'all. And so I was like, your wife. His wife is Whitney Houston. I was freaking out. So I'm sitting up there and freaking out. And next thing we know, he takes us to her, and she's having, I believe, an interview with Out Magazine.
Wow. You remember everything.
What? Wow. Absolutely. So he takes us over to her, and she starts singing, and I couldn't say a word, Gia.
She was singing?
She was singing the songs and talking, and it was like a moment I was just stuck. You ever just been stuck?
Yes.
I was stuck. Like, I couldn't say nothing. And I was like, this moment is going to be so fleeting. Like, what am I going to do in this moment? I couldn't find any word to say. And she was like, just with her gorgeous smile and those beautiful teeth and her skin, just everything about her. Because this is the woman I saw who was my skin color and singing and in front of millions of people and so effortless and confident. Like, I just, she's my goddess. So I don't say a word. Yeah. And the girls are like, Kelly loves you.
Say something.
Say something.
Beat you up.
And I was like, stuck. So I was like, yeah. That's all I think I got out was, yeah.
That's amazing.
And so she invites us to her birthday party.
There's more.
Invites us to her birthday party. And it was awesome. It was awesome. That's all I can say. And she just was so gracious. So gracious. They don't make them like her.
Wow.
She was just so gracious and just truly one of a kind. So, yeah.
When you think about Whitney and her life and just the proximity you had to her, because being at her birthday party is
Crazy.
Hello?
Crazy.
No,
But so
and
cool.
nobody in this room can say that.
So
Most of us can't say
cool.
that. So when you think about her life,
Yeah.
her career, y'all's proximity to her, what's the biggest lesson you learned from Whitney and her career and just who she was off behind the scenes?
Man, I mean, I don't know her like I didn't know her personally,
Right.
but grace, like how gracious she was. Every time she saw you, it was the same Whitney. I never got a different version of her. It was, hi, baby. You know, it was very sweet and personable, as if we were family. And like even something that is in my closet, like I remember her writing a letter and she said, love Auntie Whitney. Like she was very just nurturing and caring, but gracious. Gracious. It gives me chills just thinking about it. Ooh, she was so gracious.
I love that.
Love her.
We love you, Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace. Now, when we're thinking about Destiny's Child, because we all think about Destiny's Child all the time, but you started as Girls' Time. There's little interviews that are going viral right now on TikTok of y'all like 7 years old.
No.
Literally, who has my phone? Bring it to, pass it to me, because I got to show it.
Because I'm like,
40. Y'all were like 7, 8 years old.
Not 7. Girl, I hadn't moved to Houston at that time. Like
you
11?
you look 7.
Well,
so you might have been 10, 11. You might have been a little younger or a little older, and you guys were at like a competition and just talking like little stars,
little
Texas babies. Here it is,
Southern girls,
little Southern girls, that make.
Oh, look at baby B and Tavia. Oh, look at that's Ashley Davis. She was a part of the group at one time as well. She's a wonderful vocal. Ooh, look at Titan's whole face. Girl, that is Titan's whole face.
You mean you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh my. Oh, this is so cute.
I'll text it to you so you can send it to the girls. But
not us talking in this, slurping on these straws. I think this was at Black Expo in Houston, Texas. Either Houston or Dallas.
When you look at this, this little baby, these little babies, what happens? You're like laughing.
Yes.
You're like this age again. Take me back to that little Kelly. What is she thinking?
A dreamer. She is a dreamer. And dreaming with her friends. It's really cool. And loving music and dreaming. And yeah, just it was actually really cool. That was preparation.
Right.
That was really preparation. We would rehearse and sing, and I know I got on the girls' nerves with learning how to harmonize, because when one would be singing in the corner and giving me ecstasy, like I would literally like do another note on top of theirs, and they're like, stop.
I'm just trying to learn my note.
I'm learning my note. But it didn't matter what they were singing. It could be Mary Had a Little Lamb. Right. I was going to get this note and try to be as seamless as possible about this note, because we wanted it to feel like we were like one. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that really is one of the many magics of DC. Yeah. Is when we blended, it was a hell of a blend.
Let me tell you something, okay? No one blends like y'all.
No, thank
you.
And
when we think about like all the songs that y'all give us, we were listening to Writings on the Wall, getting ready. And we were like, dog, there's only some records that you could play from top to bottom and still sing to your lungs at the top, like it was 1998 again. And so Girls' Time, you guys get signed, you move on, you now find the final 4 that happened in this era, and you make this first album, Destiny's Child, which is amazing. Yes. I love Get on the Bus. Yes. You know, we get on the bus. I ain't got no coffee. Sucking on that jug. I love that song. Okay, sorry. When you think about that Destiny's Child first era, the knee switches in No, 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 life-changing for me. I watched y'all the same way you were talking about watching Whitney, which I also believe that for me. Yeah. when watching y'all, because I'm a kid at this time, seeing 4 beautiful Black girls in their hair and their makeup, but also clearly young and fun, changed my life for real.
How cool.
Like when I look at that, and sometimes I just live in the 90s because it's just easier for me.
Man, it's such a great time.
Let me tell you.
Great time in music. It really was.
Like,
and pop culture, period.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
And y'all were those girls.
Thank you.
So let's go back to the No video. Part 1 and part 2. What do you remember about those videos in particular?
Okay.
And what did you love the most about that time?
Okay. It was the No part 2, which was the version with Wyclef. I just remember that being our first video.
Wow. That was the first one, not with me or... Wow.
It was the first video, and I remember being on the set, and when it was time, when it was the final shot, and it was done, we cried, because it was such a moment. It's like all this moment has been building up to this moment right here.
What was the final shot?
I don't
Do you
know.
remember? Was it y'all?
I don't remember.
Was y'all in the swings? Was it y'all in the swings?
I don't remember.
Was the dance break? Dunna.
I don't know. I have to ask B.
Do you ever do the choreo sometimes when you're bored? Just
maybe 2 shots of tequila. Definitely 2 shots of tequila.
Just a couple shots.
Absolutely.
Look, sometimes
sometimes I bust out to say my name, but you got to be on at least 3 then. Whew. This is
my favorite version ever. I love it so much.
It's really fun.
So
but yeah,
I know the story of y'all riding in the car picking up Solange. That's the first time y'all heard.
No
on the radio.
97.95.
Everybody is tripping. But how did the people around you change? Because it doesn't seem like y'all changed. Yeah. But I'm sure Fame, all of a sudden, people like, oh, wait a minute. They really made it. Like, they're really making it. How did people around you change? And how did that change you as a teenage girl who probably just wanted acceptance like all of us?
Well, it was more so like, because it took us a while to get our record deal, for some people, it was like, oh, yeah, y'all little record deal. Oh, yeah, y'all little music thing. Let me make it very clear. One should never little anybody's anything.
I know that's right.
It's such a disrespect. Like, I think that we kind of just do that naturally. Oh, I'm going to go to this little thing that's such and such. It's not little. When someone gets an opportunity to do something, it's an opportunity, which makes it big for them, and you delight in that moment for them with them, because it ain't little. Like, little is when you're belittling something or someone, and it's fine. People did that. My, I have to take this. So it's like, you don't little, but people who said it was little, it's like, oh, I guess you guys are really taking off, huh? I just looked, this in particular was somebody that my mom was friends with, and I was just like, so do you want this new car, Mom? Like, I think I was a jerk, just to that person.
Period.
And I didn't know that I could be like that. But I was like, so Mom, you want this car?
Because I got you.
Because I got you. That's what my little dream did. BS. It was big AF.
I know that's right.
And because maybe you couldn't believe it, that doesn't mean that just because you don't believe it for me, that I have to believe what you believe. So don't little nobody's anything. Celebrate and delight in their opportunity, whatever it may be, but don't little it.
Don't little it, because now look at y'all. Y'all was loud and wrong about the child. Now she's earning millions of records.
No, movies. But I realized that, like, I've been kind of taking note of it, like how often, like it happens in our culture in particular. Yeah. So I think that let's not little each other, but we are great. Period. So let's not little each other.
No more littling. Thank you. Thanks. Y'all heard Kelly. Thank you. Okay, so we get to that era. I just want to read real quick, because in 98, do you know how many albums came out? And they were the greatest of all times.
I'm intrigued. Please tell me, because
there was a lot. I don't know all of them, Kelly. I'm going to lie to you.
Every Thursday, Friday, it's like 300,000 songs that come out. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Yeah, that's insane.
Miseducation came out that year.
Glory be to God.
The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Woof.
Keep the Faith, Faith Evans. My Love Is Your Love, Whitney Houston.
Woof, woof, woof.
I gotta hold up because I got it. I don't want to lie no more. I had it.
No, I believe you. That's already 4.
That's what I'm saying. So y'all were in a musical
richness.
R&B was very different
Woof.
at that time, and not that it isn't now, because R&B is still amazing right
yes.
now.
Oh, we got some great artists. Great artists.
Some great artists.
Yes.
But the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is one of those song for song, record for record. You will never be the same after you heard it type of moments.
No. She taught us about love.
Yeah.
How she taught us about love. Like about the simple, and it's not simple because love is definitely, it can be complex. But the love that she's talking about, that she was experiencing, that she knew we would eventually encounter, that she felt in her soul and her gut, she was preparing us for that. Didn't matter if, or letting us know that she'd experienced it, which made it so incredibly across the board for everybody to digest, because whether you were in love, in marriage, or dating, or a kid learning about love, wow. Like I thank her so much. We needed that. Every word, every instrument, to the feeling of love, to like a specific chord that, like, you know what that heartbreak sound like. Everything about that was just, God dog it.
To this
day.
I don't even talk to my exes, but I'm like, why you have to
do that?
You you said you're gonna die for me.
Yes.
Now you lied.
Yes. Care for me.
Care for me, and you
said
didn't.
You care for me.
This is what I be feeling, and
yes.
I know you understand me.
Yes.
And so in that era, you said you had your first music video. I'm assuming the red carpets were insane at that time. If all of those people came out at that time, what do you remember about your first big red carpets? Who were you absolutely blown away to see, other than Whitney? Any moments that stick out to you about your first red carpets, those eras in 98 and 99?
It was busy. It was almost like hard to be present sometimes, it was a lot of, it was
and
a
people
lot
knowing
of that.
you.
Yes, but it was so exciting. Like we were nudging each other, probably like being like, oh my God, this is, okay, echo. Here it goes. It was all of that. It was really fun and funny. But we were also so young. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was, what a beautiful time.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful time.
It really was to watch that era and to watch that time. And I think, you know, we all have our defining eras, the things that make us who we are today.
Yes, absolutely.
And our roles. Mine is that I'm the oldest. It's my greatest gift and the hardest thing to uncover from like the perfectionism that comes with that, the role modelism that comes with that. Growing up in the public eye, what are some of the things that define you and some things you had to unlearn just being in front of everybody this long?
I'd say unlearn.
And maybe things you learned, but
I think it's like the major thing is like somebody's always watching. You know what I mean? And that was the major thing. I remember somebody's always watching you guys. I was like,
Big Brother though.
What?
You're like, are they watching me now?
Big Brother though. It's so real. But I remember the first time. The paparazzi, that whole paparazzi thing.
Yes.
Like when the first time that happened, I remember being in New York and you're just going up the street to just go. And I was like, wow, you need to be dressed when you come out of the house. You gotta actually like get yourself together. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was wild.
Yeah.
And what else? Just keeping your mouth closed. You know what I mean? Keeping your mouth closed, like not being reckless with speaking. I think that one has to know, like, it's a lot of people listening and watching, and you do have this influence, but at the same time, you cannot be reckless with that. You can't be reckless with that. And That was an interesting one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. To this day.
Just fame and paparazzi.
Just no, not the paparazzi. It's just more so like what you say. Like is you have to, you can still like, I think you should of course like be who you are, but don't be reckless with your tongue.
Yeah. Was there one thing that you said and that broke the straw in the camel's back that you remember and you be like, oop, can never say that again?
No. It's been several things I just probably should have shut up about, but it's, you know, you live and you learn.
Yes.
You live and you learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be as open as we are without watching people try and figure it out in the real way. And so I got to ask you, Destiny's Child has given us so much music. What are your favorite Destiny's Child songs?
Oh my God, somebody just asked me this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So I know this sounds crazy, but I still never get tired of it. I think it's the track, but it's definitely Say My Name.
Yes.
Soldier, Cater to You, If, and Love. Wow. But I love If. Like, I'll sing If in the shower.
A lot of Destiny Fulfilled.
Destiny Fulfilled was like my favorite record.
So if you had to rank Destiny's Child albums, Destiny Fulfilled would be the number one.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Because The Writings on the Wall was just, I mean, you think about Confessions and that alone, the melody... The melody for
Y'all
Confessions
were
alone.
Babies making those melodies.
I know. Well, that was Missy.
Oh. Well, we knew that, but I didn't know if it was like a collab.
Yeah.
That was all Missy's ear.
Like, I was sad, what was I to do? I never had an end to play on you. All of that was just such a bop. Thank you, Missy. Gosh, congratulations to Missy. Isn't she in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yes, congratulations to Missy Elliott, for real.
Like,
oh, yes, okay. So it would be Destiny Fulfilled, Writings on the Wall.
Can they just be neck and neck?
Okay.
Thank you.
So the top albums are Destiny Fulfilled and Writings on the Wall.
Yeah.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
My opinion doesn't really matter. But
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I totally agree with you.
Absolutely.
Now, when I want to take Kelly through the eras.
Okay.
Because I've got photos of every album.
Okay.
Not every big album. And I want you to take me through what each Kelly was either thinking, going through, or what comes to mind when you think about these times.
Okay.
Because we never get to do this with Kelly. I just love this. Okay, so we're gonna start here. We already started here, but baby version.
Aww.
Look at Titan, y'all.
That look just like Titan.
Okay. So when you think about this short hair, adorable little cutie patootie.
Yes, that is so funny.
What are you thinking of? What comes to mind?
Fun. It was like fun, like us making music and having this really amazing opportunity with friends.
Yeah. Sisterhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all were them girls. They still are. Just want to say that was such a time. Actually, I used to have this picture in my closet.
Oh my gosh, this is when I was having fun playing with hair color.
What, is that purple in your hair?
It's purple in my hair. We used to like sometimes like match some of the colors. My mama Tina would say, "Oh, y'all got on red today. Let's put a little red in your hair. Oh, you got on blue today. Let's put blue in your bang." Like she was honestly so pivotal when it came to our imaging.
Yeah.
And just wanted us to stand out because the label would hire stylists and it just wouldn't quite hit it on the mark. Yeah. And I feel like she really pronounced us as unique Southern girls. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you would hear it when we talked, but then like when we came out, it was like this flair of style I felt like we had. So thank you, my mama T.
Thank you, Mama Tina. Oh, we got the Kelly albums. This is the one.
Man.
This is first of all, talk about hair magazines and all these styles being in there after y'all did this. I just have to say, cool. This was giving Houston Beauty Salon.
It
was giving Mama Tina with all these looks.
It was.
What makes this time special? 98.
It was such a dope process of this record.
Yeah.
And of course, the Writings on the Wall, like how it all came together. The shoot, we heard all the different mixes of the songs.
Wow.
So it's this one shot I think it was a Bills cover where we're in this purple or pink tool and we're all sitting in there and it was the first time I believe which song was that? Was it Say My Name or was it I think it was, but we heard it and we're in this tour. We're going, oh, us being kids and going through that. So it was like that time. It was very cool.
Okay, we going fast forward because I know we can go through a million Destiny's Child records, but
yes.
This is one of my favorite records ever. I just want to let you know.
Oh my gosh.
The Christmas album. Y'all don't have 8 days of Christmas. Y'all are all fired.
That's hilarious. Oh, wow. Okay, so the funny thing is about this cover, we pulled about this album. We pulled this out. We literally recorded this album all over the world because we were touring.
Yeah. And
everywhere we went, whatever studio it was, whatever country it was in, it was Christmas lights. It was trees and stuff everywhere. It's like, y'all gonna feel Christmas when it's July or whatever. But it was really fun. Yeah. And that was a fun shoot for sure.
Sir. And for some reason, Survivor ain't in here, but we gonna talk about the Survivor cover. Y'all was in silver. It was getting very.
We were.
Renaissance.
Yeah.
Renaissance.
It was very Renaissance.
When you think about the Survivor era, what do you remember about that time?
Whirlwind.
Yeah.
I don't remember being still.
Yeah.
I just literally see it was so fast.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yes. I mean, the video alone you remember it was Access Grant. Y'all did an Access.
Yeah, my wig flew off.
Is that when your wig flew
off?
Yeah,
one of the funniest interviews I think I've ever seen. I was actually like a couple of months ago where it was the three of us and we're sitting there and they're asking about something funny, like an anecdote that happened on set. And B said, Kelly lost the wig. It was so funny. And then they got her like running and doing this. Oh gosh, I think I said that to her and we had quite the laugh. I was like, wow, we sound country AF. Like, are you serious? Survivor was great. Yeah. It was such a beautiful time. It was the coldest day in LA history.
Oh, and y'all were out there.
And we were in the water.
Cute. Yeah. Cute. And at that time, y'all had welcomed Michelle to the group.
Yes.
And y'all had this new chemistry, a new sound. Because Michelle's voice, you can't just put her there and she doesn't show up on the record.
Her voice is so unique and beautiful and full of so much soul and grit, and she's one of a kind.
Yes. And so that transition obviously was one of those things where we like got to see y'all figure out how to re-enter into the world. And so many of us have been through crazy things online. And we see young celebrities getting dragged all the time. Like it's a scary time to be vulnerable. It's a scary time to make mistakes. You feel like you might get canceled every day. Like you're afraid to say anything wrong.
Yeah.
When you re-entered to the space, how did you decide that you were going to keep showing up and not let anything that the world was saying get to you at all?
It helped that we had each other. It was a blessing that we had each other. I think because of our faith, to be honest, we would be home every Sunday if we could, to be right there at church, at St. John's United Methodist Church, and that church family would cover us every time.
I know that.
And it was us. We really pulled through. It was a lot of people saying some crazy stuff. I had no idea that trauma would come up right now. So
sorry.
It's all right. But we powered through. And for us to be that young and to power through like that, and our team to be so wonderful. Yeah. Like, we were blessed. Because I don't know if that would have happened for everybody.
Yeah.
I really don't.
That's what I mean when I say the light y'all have is so deep. Because all of y'all are so beautiful, but y'all all fought for this light that y'all have.
Yeah.
Like, most people wouldn't recover from a time like that. And I remember watching, and I was one of the people calling the radio like, y'all leave them alone. I don't care what they say. But everybody gonna be good. They all talented. I was 10 years old ready to fight. Like, first of all, Kelly's everything. Beyonce, like, I was that girl, and I love that we get that we still get to celebrate y'all. And as all the women that were a part of this time.
Yes.
Because y'all showed us how to continue to show up.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I asked you that is because so many people want to give up.
Yeah.
Like the loudness of that time, most people would be like,
yeah,
this ain't worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you think about like people who are going through something loud right now, what would you tell them about how to keep showing up, how to keep going?
I would tell them, don't listen to the exterior narrative. Exterior narrative.
You said
Yes,
it right.
yes. The interior one is the one that counts the most. Because if you can talk yourself into the moment that you can see for yourself so clearly, others might not understand how you can get through it.
Okay.
But God does. And if God does, then you got to believe that too, because you're his. You know what I mean? And I think that it's just a part of the journey. It's a part of the pruning process. I remember Pastor Rudy would be like, it's just a part of the process, baby. Just a part of the process. And that has stuck with me for a very long time. And he was like, y'all okay? Y'all gonna be okay. But to have a support system, a great support system is really important for anybody. And we had that.
You did.
Have that to this day. Have that.
To this day.
To this day.
There is, we got emotional, but there is so much power on the other side of the trauma and the things that happen in our lives. And so when you think about that moment, and now that we've moved past it, and there's so much light on the other side, like, I love that you did that. And I asked you because there's so many artists who I feel like I get to meet a lot of them that might be a little disconnected because this industry could be a little jaded. You can get to points where you're like, oh, I don't want to be here no more.
Yeah.
Like music, if this is what it takes, my dream isn't worth it.
Yeah.
So if you ever, how do you like look for the girls who might be coming up, who are, you see them going through things, or even if you just like, I think they're amazing, let me just be there for them. Like, is that something you like to?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love it. I want to be there. I feel like if I've been in this game since I was 14, 15 years old. 14, 15 years old. I have knowledge or wisdom I need to share. And I don't care what it is. I really am an open book.
Yeah.
So when I do meet some young ladies and they are artists, I'm like, I'm here. Like, I'll literally take their hand. I'm like, I'm here. Like, use me. Ask me questions. I'll give you whatever it is you want in this Rolodex. Like, I don't, from glam to therapy to doctors to this to whatever it is, use me.
Yeah.
Period. Because that's how we should be as women. And so I like to be a safe space. I want to be a safe space for them because as women in the industry, you encounter so much. And when you put your head on your pillow at night and something is still bothering you, you can't quite like figure out or like really pinpoint what it is. Yeah. Like, maybe I can help you. Maybe I've been there. Maybe I can help you navigate your way through that or connect you with the right person who can, whatever. I just use me. Because I say that every time. Use me. I'm
sure they are better for it. And I love that we have you to say that. And we got to get Destiny Fulfilled.
But it's not one-sided though.
I know.
Because
that's the thing about,
because they feed me too.
Yeah.
Like when I watch them, whether they are performing or doing whatever it is, like they feed me too.
Yeah.
Their eyes and wonder and newness and like they're refreshing and they remind me of the little dreamer. I'm still, look at me, I said little. The younger dreamer. See, I had to correct myself. See? The younger dreamer. Like it's a reminder. Yeah. It's a reminder.
I love this.
Yeah.
Okay. We got to get to Destiny Fulfilled before we wrap.
Oh, glory
your favorite.
That is my favorite cover.
Oh, your favorite cover.
Favorite cover.
Why?
I
mean, it's beautiful, but yes. I didn't know that would be your favorite.
Oh, it's my favorite cover. It just felt so iconic. It really, really did. When I saw it, I had the chills when I saw it. My bottom lip would look like really big on that one, but I like it. It's cool.
First of all, never touch this face, okay? This face is stunning, never declines.
I love you too.
But when we think about this time, like, one, what was it like to know that y'all were transitioning into different areas in your career?
Oh, womanhood. Like it felt like we were transitioning into womanhood. And that was exciting and scary at the same time.
Yes.
But that album, man, it got me through. That album got me through. There were days like we would come to the studio and just have conversations, and next thing you know, and by the way, the studio was kind of similar to this, except the couch would be turned this way.
Oh, so we in
or actually, the mics would be in front of us, and it would be like 3 stools, and the table was up there, and that's how we would sing. It was awesome.
So y'all were really in there just like, girl. And matter of fact, next time when I say girl, listen to me. Like that conversation.
No,
like
it
really
was
having
figuring.
Girlfriend talk.
Yes, it was like it was a talk, and it was figuring everything out, and we had just was it the Sony studio? Yeah, the Sony studio at that time. We actually occupied the whole space.
Yeah.
It was Rodney Jerkins in one room, Brian Michael Cox in another room, Sean Garrett in another room, Ninth Wonder in another room, Rockwald in another room. Like, it was so rich. Like, that place was just blowing with just talent. And it was fun. And every day, like, you know, I remember Sean would come in there with something new. I got the hints and no idea, girls. It was just so much fun. And it was so much personality in there. And we would listen to a track upstairs and be like, we should go see what Rodney's doing in Studio D. We should, like, you know what I mean? It was all of that. And it was awesome. It was a wonderful time to be alive and in music.
We can hear it in the music.
Yeah.
And I've got your solo albums. Now, we are running out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and look through all. I want you to look through these. Because, one, Stole changed my life. I just want to say. This little red hair era, ma'am.
It was
this
good.
little
it was
pixie.
Really good. It's so cute. I tried that on the other day, and it was, well, not that, but.
I was like, you still?
No, I ain't got that wig. But that was a really fun and a really cute pixie. Oh gosh, I feel like giving her a pound. She got me through. It was times that I know that time in my life I was figuring so many things out about myself, about a lot, about life, about relationships. It was great. But it was, you know, in your 20s, you figuring everything out. Yeah. But it was that's what I remember when I look at that. And just learning about me.
I remember this, Kelly.
Yep.
I remember your album came out, and everybody was like, oh, can they do solos? And you knocked it out the park.
Oh,
you had Dilemma, you had Stall, you had all these records that we really got to hear you. We really got to see you. Do you feel like that's when you started to stand fully like in the Kelly space of it all? When? Is it any of these? Was it a Here I Am?
Here I Am was definitely a moment.
Or was it
But Talk a Good Game, I was like, I'm here, God.
Hello.
I was like, I am here. And I didn't shrink.
Expand. Because a lot of us out here shrinking.
You said a lot of us out here shrinking. I didn't shrink. I think that I didn't do this. I just kind of pulled up. I pulled up. Yeah. And I was, I feel like that's like my best body of work, to be honest.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah,
it was an amazing album.
Yeah.
And this woman absolutely is not shrinking.
No.
Like, there's strength in this.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest records from that time was Dirty Laundry.
Yeah.
That you were told it all. You shared everything that you were going through.
Yeah.
Looking back now, were you like, ooh, I might have said too much? Or were you like, I mean, it is what it is?
It is what it is. It is what it is. I would be wrong to lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was definitely an interesting time.
Yeah.
But I remember when I went in with Dream, of course, who wrote that record, he was like, you got to go beneath the surface.
Hello.
I don't want that shallow shit, he said. I said, okay. And he just started talking to me, and we just started, like, he's the one person I feel like, or one of the many writers, there's a couple writers I feel like I can be like that vulnerable with, but him, he's like, he is family, like heart family, and I could be very vulnerable with him. Yeah. I remember I couldn't record the song after, like, we finished like pulling everything together, and he wrote it, and I said, I need a day. I need a day to come back and sing this. Yeah. Because when I tried, it was just a big eruption. I had no, you just never know until it starts coming out. So I couldn't sing through it. Yeah. He was like, try. You sing through it. I was like, this is not happening tonight. We're going to turn this off, and I'm going to go home and go to sleep. And he was like, okay. And that's exactly what I did, and it worked out.
Well, now that we've gotten through, because you've dropped many EPs in many other beautiful songs, Crown, we listened to Crazy today, Coffee, like you've given us lots of amazing music over the years.
Thank you.
But I want to talk to you about purpose, because there is so much that happens in this life, and we get to see this version of you. But do you think your purpose, what do you think your purpose is, and how do you make sure you're showing up for that every day?
So I'm still walking in my purpose, and I'm literally figuring out certain things right now to continue to fulfill my purpose. But I think that I would like to be a part of a movement of pulling women together, no matter what ethnic background they are. I feel like, or what color they are. I think that women are stronger together. And I would like to see that day come to pass by the time I leave this earth. Come on. I feel like we are so strong. And society, patriarchy, has set us back long enough. And when we know what we bring to the table as individuals, we're able to celebrate the woman next to us. I think that is slowly happening. But there was a time where it was, there can only be one. Or we can just celebrate this one person. Or it's like, who makes that rule? Yeah. And do we play into it? And how do we make space for each other to where we still know that there's space for us?
So good.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I'd like to be a part of that. And then I'm good. Then I'm good. I'm like, all right. When I see that, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm good.
I could see you leading the whole charge.
Well,
you're already in it.
But it takes many of us.
Yes.
It takes to me just the thought of the belief, or just the seed being planted. There's so many women I'm watching doing it, like Kerry Washington. She makes space for other women. She sure does. You know what I mean? She's one of the many I admire who does that. And I'll never forget the speech that Gabrielle Union gave at the Essex Women in Hollywood brunch. I freaking love her. I freaking love her. You know what I mean? So I'm watching all these women make space. Eva Longoria, another one who likes to make space. Yes. You know what I mean? There's so many women who want to make space for all of us to thrive. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when someone says, well, that person is your competition, I'm like, no, they're not. And I don't say that in an arrogant way. I say that like I'm my competition. That's what y'all have done for ages. You ain't doing that this time. Not here. Not now. We don't have the time. We don't. And that's it.
Period. All right, before I let you go, because we done run out of time, y'all. I can talk to Kelly. I can talk to Kelly for 3 years. I just want to talk now. But before we go, I have some flowers for you, because I believe in giving people their flowers while they're here.
Beautiful. And thank you so much. These are so gorgeous.
And one of the reasons why I really wanted to make sure because I know you like your white flowers.
I do love my white flowers.
That you had your flowers is because it's wild that you said Whitney made you feel safe every time you saw her, because every single time I see you, you make me feel safe. And in this world that the LA of it all, the New York of it all, being a Black girl, trying not to say the wrong things, trying not to mess things up for people. Kelly, you have always looked at me with a smile.
Yeah.
And you've always, even if you didn't really remember me, I didn't know. You was always like, no, I love you.
Yeah.
I hope you're well.
Yeah.
And when I tell you I walk away lighter and brighter knowing that you exist and that you not only do that for me, you do that for any journalist I know, any person I know, any
Thank
person in
you.
music.
Thank you.
We love you so much.
I love you too.
And I'm just so grateful that you exist. And I'm
Thank
so grateful
you.
that you keep showing up for us.
I'm grateful that you exist.
thank
And
you.
I believe that we get what we put out. And you always give out goodness.
Thank
You
you.
always give out goodness. You are a safe space. And I think that anybody who has a opportunity to sit and talk and look at you in your eye and be human with you, they came up. They came up.
Kelly, please, I can't cry today. But no, I love you so much.
I love you too.
Whenever you are ready, whenever you are want anything to say,
I'm here.
I will. I'm gonna text you. I'm like, how you doing, sis? You good? But at the end of the day, you always have this space. We love you so much, Kelly. Anything y'all need, you know, we gonna be here supporting Kelly. Y'all make sure you continue to follow her amazing journey. We love you so much, Kelly Rowland. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Gia.